Hello everyone, welcome back. Thank you for joining me again. Do really appreciate it. I'm going to talk to you a bit more today about my borderline personality disorder. Firstly, I just want to warn people who don't know me, I'm not a medical expert, so I'm just going to go through some of the ways BPD affects me, and I'm not going to go into all the medical side of things because I really don't want to give out any false information or anything like that. So I'm just going to explain how it affects me. And one of the main traits that affects me, there are 9 traits to borderline personality disorder, and each one is quite in-depth and can be quite complicated, and I think each one deserves its own video, otherwise it could get very long and a lot to take in. And plus I don't have all of the traits, so I'm just going to cover the ones that I have experience of myself. And what I'm going to talk to you today about is unstable moods. That's one of the traits I do struggle with the most. Really extreme and unstable moods. So, at one bit I did wonder whether it could be bipolar, because I know that bipolar can be really up and really down, and I really did think that maybe it was. But I didn't really know that much about BPD at the time, and I know now that their moods in BPD fluctuate a lot more than with bipolar. They can fluctuate a lot faster. If I've got this right, episodes of bipolar can last weeks, whereas mood changes in borderline personality disorder moods can last for minutes or hours or days. But as far as I know, I don't think they do weeks, or they don't with me anyway. Usually for me it's hours or minutes. No, sorry, hours or days. I'll get there eventually. So yeah, I do get really extreme moods. A lot of the time, whatever I feel, it's really extreme. There aren't many days where I'm just kind of stable and alright and just, just alright. Usually, if I'm feeling something, it is quite extreme. And there are a few main moods that I tend to kind of have a few different types. I have episodes where I'm really depressed and I can feel really down and tired. I just have no energy at all, no motivation. Things that I enjoy doing, I just have no interest in. It's just kind of, I know I should be enjoying that. I know I should be looking forward to it, but I just don't feel anything for it, just a bit empty. And so yeah, I really do struggle with motivation when I'm depressed. And it's impossible um, to do things that I don't enjoy doing when I'm depressed, because it's hard enough trying to get me to do things that I do enjoy doing. If I've got no motivation, no willpower, no energy, just tired and exhausted, and I'm feeling down, and I can't even bring myself to do the things I enjoy doing. So there is just no hope for the things that I don't enjoy doing. No hope at all. It's not going to happen. Um, so, um, so yeah, that's what I feel like when I'm depressed. And then there'll be other times when I'm feeling really anxious, where I feel really on edge, like some things couldn't go wrong. It kind of feels like after you've had an argument and there's just that tension simmering away. But it'll happen when I haven't had an argument, when nothing's actually happened, when everything's been fine. I could have had a great day the day before, but then some days I'll just wake up and there's just this awkwardness and tension, feel on edge, feel like something has happened. And because it hasn't, it makes me think something will happen. And I just can't seem to get past that. It's like I'm just waiting for something to happen, waiting for something awful to happen. I don't know what, I don't know when, but it's just that gut feeling that something horrible is going to happen. And sometimes this feeling will put me off doing things that I enjoy. For example, at Christmas, I was meant to be doing a video call with my friends, and I'd done video calls before, and they're obviously my friends. I really love them and care about them, enjoy spending time with them. But this particular day, I was feeling really anxious, really anxious, and it just felt like everything was going to go wrong, and that I just couldn't do it. I didn't really understand why I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't go online, and I couldn't do it. And I kept trying to get myself to do it because I knew I wanted to. I knew the real me wanted to. But I was just getting more and more and more worked up. I spent ages getting ready because it was Christmas. We were wearing Christmas jumpers and things, and I spent ages getting ready, just dashing around, doing everything I could to put off actually going online, to kind of delay it because I wasn't ready. I couldn't do it yet. Just a little bit longer. And I just kept thinking, oh, I'll just do this and then I'll go on. I'll just do this, then I'll go on. I'll just do this when I go on. And about a million things later, I was still at it. I'll just do this and then I'll go on. I'll just do this and then I'll go on. And I spent about maybe 2 hours getting ready for a Zoom call that I'd already started that I was missing, and I'd already missed most of. And then by the time I'd got there, eventually, I'd kind of missed most of it, and then I felt really awful for missing most of it. I felt really guilty, and like a bad friend. I know they didn't see me as a bad friend. They know that I've been struggling, so they understand. But I felt awful, and I felt guilty, and I felt guilty for quite a few days after. It took me a long time to come round from it. But this anxiety just built up to the point where it was just so overwhelming, and it just completely took over me. And it was just kind of saying, you, you just can't go on, you can't do it. I didn't even know why I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. You know, quite often my head will be saying, if I do something, then this might happen or that might happen. This will go wrong and that will go wrong. And this time, there wasn't even that. I couldn't even understand why I couldn't go on. My head wasn't even telling me that. It was just that I just couldn't go on. So, yeah, anxiety can be a huge problem. It can really take over. I think sometimes people, including me, I didn't used to understand how strongly anxiety can get you, how much it can take over. I didn't used to understand it at all. To be fair, I didn't. I used to think we all get a bit anxious, we all get a bit worried, we all get a bit scared, but we get over it, we do it. And yeah, we do when we are a bit anxious or a bit scared. But this isn't being a bit anxious or a bit scared, this is completely anxiety overload. It just takes over your whole mind, and there's this tiny little bit of me left that knows what I really want. I know that I really want to do it, but it's kind of fighting a losing battle, because the little bit of me that's left in that moment is so tiny, and the anxiety is so huge and overwhelming. It's never going to win. Some days I can fight it, and some days I can't. And I've learned now that sometimes I'm better off not fighting it, because if I do go to something that I'm feeling really anxious about, I can get myself in such a state over it, and then it completely ruins the time I have when I'm there anyway. So it's about trying to figure out whether I can fight it or not, or whether I'm just fighting a losing battle. each situation is different, and so yeah, that's anxiety. And then some days I feel really stressed, and when I say stressed, I mean stressed. It's just so overwhelming and huge. I just feel so on edge and tense, and like I just want to scream some days, and it's like there'll be so much stress and tension building up in my head, and on days when I'm like this, noise often bothers me as well. I'm really sensitive to noise sometimes, and on these days noise really, really gets to me. There'll be even probably just normal volume things seem really loud and annoying and overwhelming, and there's just it's like there's just so much noise and information going round and round and round in my head that it's just in complete overload, and I just have to get myself out of that situation. I need to go into another room or just go and be somewhere quiet, because nothing's really, I think a lot of the time, nothing's really happened. It's just me being really sensitive. But that's just what BPD does to me, and I feel so just so stressed sometimes, so stressed, and a lot of the time I don't even know why, which is a really annoying thing, because well, firstly it just sounds a bit daft. How can you not know what you're stressed about? Well, I don't always. It's just a feeling, just there. And the problem is, if I don't know what's causing the stress, I can't fix it. But, and it's the same with being depressed. I don't always know why I'm depressed, it's just a feeling. And if I don't know what's causing it, then I can't try and sort it and make it better, help it to go away. And it's really, really annoying. It's just a case of waiting for it to pass. But on these days where I'm really stressed, I kind of describe it like a tornado going round in my head. There's this tornado of stress and noise and information. It's just like there's all this stuff being thrown at me, and it's all just swirling around in my head, and I just can't make sense of anything. I'm just completely overloaded, and I just have to go into another room and be somewhere quiet and kind of reset, I suppose. Have a few minutes to myself, wherever I am, whether I'm in or whether I'm out, or, if I'm out somewhere, I might just have to go and stand outside for a few minutes, or find a quiet area to be in. You know, wherever I am, it can happen, and yeah, it's just, yeah, it's just, I just get so overloaded and overwhelmed. And, but then the good thing about BPD as is that it's not all bad. There are happy days. Yay! There are really, 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 really happy days. I get so excited, so happy, so giggly, so fun, so upbeat, so motivated, um, so energetic. I just feel completely on top of the world and ecstatic, and like nothing can bring me down. Just feel amazing. And for anybody else who has experienced it, from what I've heard from people so far, I think a lot of people agree that, from what I've heard, can't speak for everybody, but the few people I've heard about have said BPD highs can be amazing. Really, really, really amazing. And I love those days. I really, really, really love those days. Um, yeah. There's some days where nothing can bring me down at all. Or at least it feels that way. But then the fun with BPD is, can be on top of the world one minute, really, 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 really high up on top of the world, and then I'll crash. I'll crash really hard, really fast, and the next thing I know, I'll be really depressed and down and upset. Just one simple negative thing. Not anything too big, just fairly simple, quite small, but just one little negative thing can just send me falling. And I fall really hard and really fast. And it's really extreme and drastic. It really is kind of like I'm on top of the world one minute and then I just fall, just drop, go splat as I call it. Just it's just so weird how I can be so happy. So, so, so happy. And then, a matter of minutes later, it can be like none of that happiness ever happened. It can be like the whole world is coming to an end. I feel like whatever it is that has set me off is just a complete disaster. And, but the thing is, that one thing that sets me off leads to something else, and then to something else, and then to something else. So it's kind of like a chain reaction kind of thing. It's kind of, it starts off being one tiny thing that I'm worrying about, But then really quickly, I can be worrying about anything and everything. Things that aren't even possible, things that aren't likely to happen ever. Just be worrying about anything and everything. And it's really horrible because and then I feel guilty because, well, I don't know that guilty is the right word, but I feel really down for feeling down because I was so happy a few minutes ago. So happy. So why did this have to happen? Why did I have to crash? Why couldn't I just stay happy? So then I'm feeling down about feeling down. And that makes things even worse. So I wrote about the mood swings on one of my blogs called Mood Swings and Roundabouts if you want to check it out on myglitterandthedarkness.com, and it'd be great if you did. And I describe BPD and these unstable emotions as kind of like an emoji tombola. It's kind of like you never know what you're going to get next. There's just so many emotions to choose from, all of them really extreme, and it's just kind of lucky dip. And they change so quickly. You know, I'll have a happy one minute and a sad one the next, a stressed one the next, and it's really hard to catch up sometimes. Really hard to catch up. But the good thing is I have started some medication which has been helping me. It has been helping my moods to kind of level out a little bit. Not too much. I'm still feeling, I'm still thinking, I'm still doing everything I did before, but it's just not as extreme. It's more in control. And so far it is really helping me. So yeah, extreme and unstable moods can be very tricky and unpredictable for me and the people around me. And I am really grateful to the people around me for being so patient and understanding with me, and for trying to keep up with me, because I struggle to keep up with myself. So I know it's not easy sometimes, but we'll get there eventually. We'll get all this figured out. So I think I'm done for now anyway. So yeah, if you found this helpful at all, then please hit the like button if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Please check out my blog at myglitterinthedarkness.com, and I'm also on Twitter and Facebook, so you'll find the links to those on the About section on the channel. So it'd be great to hear from you, and yeah, I'll speak to you all again soon.